Hello, everybody. This is Julian coming to you live. This is the very first episode of the Mostly MLS podcast. Totally the first time that we're recording this. I totally did not mess up the first time. Anyways, today I'm here.
You're totally on the floor still.
Today I'm here with. I'm not crying, I swear. Today I'm here with Jacob, Joss, and Jack. Say hello, everybody.
I think we should go in order. So, Jacob, you say something first.
What's up, guys? I'm Jacob.
That's Jacob.
Hello, everybody.
I am Jack. Sadly, I'm here. I got forced into this, so.
You wanted to be here,
I
bro.
did not force you into this.
Bro, it was not a choice. I promise.
Bro, I said you're not getting paid if you say that.
Yeah, I needed the income. I'm sorry. That's what it was. Anyways.
All right. Yeah, anyways, so this podcast is just for us to mainly talk about MLS, hence the name Mostly MLS Podcast. We just mainly talk about Major League Soccer, American soccer, and just soccer around the world in general. And then sometimes we talk about nonsensical stuff because
That's how our brains work.
Just how it works here. But yeah.
I think we should change the name to, like, the 4 J's.
Yeah, because there's 4 J's right now.
And then we just have our guest speakers being Wog or, like, whoever.
No, so it's the 4 J's, and then the episode title is just the letter of whoever joins us. So if it's Doug, we just do D.
D, and then if it's Doug and Eric, we do D plus E.
I think you should change his name to, like, Jug or Jared. With a 5 J's or the 4 J's.
Bro.
Okay. All right, but we're gonna probably end up breezing through this because we did, as I said, record this
half
one
of it.
time. We recorded half of this already, and then the audio screwed up. But yeah, we're back, and we're gonna be doing our first topic of the MLS Mount Rushmore. You guys can pick your picks that you already had in mind because I don't. Well, let's just go through our first 2 picks we already had done. So we're going to probably breeze through it real quick. Jacob, if you'd like to start with your first 2 picks, and then we'll go down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. So I picked Landon Donovan and then Tony Meola. Obviously, just like 2 major legends of the game. Landon Donovan really just kind of like evolved soccer here in America and made it really what it is. Chose to forego a career in Europe just to really kind of promote just soccer within the United States. And that is something that we can never really give him enough thanks for. And then secondly, Tony Meola is just a legend. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Sporting KC, but the guy played 11 years within the MLS, I believe 250 matches. And he is the only goalkeeper with MLS to win the MVP award, which is honestly just an amazing feat for a goalie.
Yeah, those 2 picks, just love them so much. Okay. Wow, very good commentary, me.
You breeze right through that.
So okay.
You got it written out or something?
What?
Does Jacob have it written out or something? He breezed right through that.
No, bro. He just remembered his picks, dog.
Oh,
it's really not that hard, dog.
All right.
Oh.
So I picked Sebastian Javinko and Thierry Henry for my first 2
Yeah,
picks.
I'm still upset about that second one.
Yeah, Sebastian
Why don't you
Javinko.
cry some more, bro? Why don't you cry some more?
How about you, like... Nah, you know what? We're recording. I ain't gonna say it. I'll DM you, bro.
Oh, no, dude.
It's about to go down after this podcast. Anyways.
Yeah, it is.
Sebastian Javinko, I said he was just like unstoppable. I think Joss mentioned his free kicks. He was just such a fun player to watch. Like every single game, he was amazing to watch. Even against Sporting KC, which I don't believe he ever scored against us, if I can remember that correctly. Anyways, and then I picked Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, he was like the first major MLS signing from Europe outside of LA and David Beckham. If I'm not incorrect, he was after Rafa Marquez though, but I can't be sure about that. But anyways, yeah, Thierry Henry just like brought about like a whole different like play to the MLS, and I think that like part of the evolution like during like the early 2010s in MLS, it wasn't just because of David Beckham. I think it was because Thierry Henry too. I think he really played a part in that. All right, and Joss?
I just want to say, with Giovinco, I think that his signing was one of the most influential, if not the most, of all time in MLS because he came over when he was like 26. You know, it was the beginning.
Yeah, the start of MLS 3.0. I'd argue.
Yeah, the start of like us starting to target these younger, more exciting, dynamic players with something to prove. I don't know. I can't remember if Gio actually got back in the Italian side. I don't think he did because he plays in MLS, but I think he was one of the higher performing strikers.
I think he was
Italian strikers.
I think he was in the roster for like one of the cycles, and then they dropped him.
Yeah, I remember a comment that was like Gio won't get won't get a call up because he plays in MLS, which I think was, poor because
Yeah.
their other striker was like Graziano Pella, who was a baller, but they could always use Gio.
I was about to say if you trashed on Pele, you're gonna have Jack on
No,
your back right
I know
now.
better, bro. But my two picks. So first pick again, no bias because Sporting,
Yeah.
Johnny Russell,
Oh yes.
and that's because I feel like he was the beginning of these small market teams he was part of the small market revolution. I think obviously MLS as a foreign, as like a European or something, you think of like the LA teams or like the New York teams, but Johnny Russell coming from Darby County to Kansas City and absolutely tearing it up, it was an example that there are still players out there that are willing to come to these smaller teams and be able to play well,
Yeah.
not come for this paycheck, come because they want to be here and be a part of an exciting growing league.
Yeah. I think it also shows like that, just like the growing of like fan base in MLS and like, just like how. I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm not gonna. Okay, go on to your next pick.
And my second pick, shout out Jack, Bradley Wright Phillips.
Yeah, you're a bitch made, bro.
Bradley Wright Phillips came across to MLS. He didn't do great in England, but he comes here and he's the fastest player to score 100 goals in MLS history.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it just shows the fact that these players, because he was like in his late 20s, like maybe 26 when he came across, and he was able to show up, show out, do all he can. And again, Metro New York didn't win an MLS Cup while he was there because that's so Metro. But it should have been expected. But still, him coming across, I think that he had as much of an impact. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say he had a little impact on Henry, but still a big impact for a small, kind of like a smaller name player,
Yeah, because he tied that single season goal scoring record. Of course, this was before Joseph Martinez, Carlos Vela, of course. But
right, the revolution.
Was it Carlos Valderrama? I want to say. I don't know. I forgot who he tied for it. But yeah. Also, I'd like to mention that if he was not playing that season, Dom Dwyer would have won the Golden Boot. I'm not salty about that. Anyways, Jack, your picks.
All right. So since I didn't get to my second one, my first one was David Beckham. David Beckham. Josh, DMs. I got you. Don't worry. Anyways, you can cut that out. So, David Beckham, notable English captain for their international team. He was the captain, like I just literally said.
This is great. This is great commentary.
Listen, I'm getting to it. All right.
He was the captain?
No, bro. He was the assistant captain. All right. Anyways, he's one of the biggest names in all of the Premier League, English football. I mean, everyone in America knew who David Beckham was when he came here, and for him to sign even with any MLS team was just history, pretty much in the making there. And he won 2 MLS titles here.
I think it was.
He had. Was it?
I think it was.
I know it was 2 because I know they went back to back and won them both. So that's the only 2 I remember.
But I think he won. It was like he won 1, then Houston won, then they won back to back. I think
that's right. Okay, yeah, I don't remember Houston being good ever, but we forget about that. Anyways, so David Beckham, I mean, he made a really smart business move by coming here to expand his brand, and now he's the owner of his own MLS franchise, that being Inter Miami FC. And so he's been affiliated, I guess, or around the MLS since his arrival in 2007. So that was my first pick, was just because he started this international trend of players coming over from all sorts of European countries. I mean, not necessarily massive name players, but there was an influence of even small name players like Bradley Wright Phillips, who didn't have a successful career in England, making his way over and starting again, and then becoming one of the most prolific goal scorers the MLS has seen so far. And my second pick was actually going to be Kaká. Which,
I would have thought that actually.
So the reason I picked him is he had a really good career in Italy, and even with Brazil being on most of their teams in World Cups and the international tournaments. I can't think of the South.
Last player besides Messi or Ronaldo to win the Ballon d'Or as well.
Right, and he was also
Modric, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forget that Modric won a Ballon d'Or, bro. Okay, anyways.
What year was Kaká's? 2007
Oh,
or something like that. I think. Yeah. But anyways,
something like that.
like I said, he had a really notable European career as well. And I mean, it was really shocking. And he joined an expansion team just straight out. He was their first MLS signing ever in Orlando. And he went on to have a career of 24 goals and 21 assists here.
And Orlando still haven't made the playoffs.
And Orlando were still bad. But yeah, Kaká was still really. I mean, he was really exciting to watch with them. Anyways, like. He brought excitement for that crowd, and he really he was always bettering the players around him, even though, Orlando were never that good.
Respect Chris Mueller, bro.
Okay.
Respect Kyle Warren.
Chris Mueller. Dom
Respect
Dwyer.
PC.
PC.
No, bro. PC, oh man. I don't remember what he is now. That was
the best name in MLS.
But yeah, no, my second pick's Kaká. I really thought that was a smart signing by Orlando when they first became a MLS team. He went on to have a really solid career here with a bad Orlando City team. But yeah, he was really surprising. I was really surprised to see he went there, joining an expansion team after all he had done.
Oh, yeah.
But he was on the downside of his career, which he was playing in Brazil for like it wasn't Neymar's old team. I can't think of the name of it. But he was, no, it wasn't that one.
Sao Paulo.
It was Sao Paulo. And, yeah, he was just playing there. He had pretty much been done in Europe for a couple years and made his way to MLS, which, if you think of his track record, it's a really big signing for any small market team like that.
Oh, yeah. A huge international signing.
For sure.
All right, we're back up to
All right.
Banks.
All right, boys. I can't believe you have left this man off the list.
I think
Martinez.
Former Tottenham and Wolverhampton Wanderer,
Wander.
Robbie Keane.
Oh,
Robbie.
Robbie Keane.
Yeah,
No one thinks about Robbie Keane.
Love
right.
that man.
But this man had 3 MLS titles, dude,
Yep.
and 83 goals in 125 games. Unbelievable stat line.
Was he still on the team when Gerard got to LA?
I don't. That's a good question.
He had
I don't
1 year
think he
with
was.
him. I think he had 1 year with him with that
I
guy.
think he did.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Donovan came out of retirement as well.
Oh,
That was wild, bro.
And he
That was
scored against us,
insane.
bro. Do you remember that?
he came out
Scored
of
against us
retirement.
at
Yeah,
Children's Mercy.
he came
I
out
was
of
fuming.
retirement just so he could score against Sporting.
He couldn't let us have it that easy.
Yeah, Robbie.
No,
Keane.
wait. Yeah, I remember
Irish
because like he came out, the Cauldron were chanting AARP, and then he scored.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was the best. All right.
But yeah, Robbie Keane, unreal.
Love that man. I'm surprised that nobody has mentioned who I'm going to say, and it is Carlos Vela.
Yeah,
I would go for Carlos
that.
Vela. Were you actually? I'm just stealing
No.
all. I'm
See,
stealing all
I
the
thought
ideas.
about Villa, but like he's had a really good year. Or is it 2 now with
2 or 3. I
LAFC?
think this is his third.
Third.
Yeah.
This is
So yeah, he's had 2 really solid good years with. But Villa, after his few years at Arsenal, and then he went to Real Sociedad, and then the Mexico. Like
Yeah.
he started at the top, and now he's kind of fallen off. But he's really picked up. He's always been a really good player. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
but
he's a great player.
yeah, I just.
He was in Antoine Griezmann's best 11 of all time of like players
Was
that
he
he's played
actually?
with. Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, I forgot he played a Real Sociedad together like that.
Yeah. But I was gonna say Carlos Vela because I think he was like the start of like MLS like buying Mexican like superstars and just like superstar like looking to their target markets because like obviously in LA you have this huge just like Hispanic, Spanish, Mexican market that you can tap into.
yeah.
And so to bring in Carlos Vela, I think that was one of like the first major picks of like we are targeting this specific market by picking this specific player. It's one of the big MLS 3.0 things that a lot of people just seem to like be reluctant to talk about is like targeting a market by signing a player, But I think they did that with Carlos Vela, which led to so many other signings. Of course, Chicharito with the Galaxy, Polito with Kansas City, Pizarro with Miami. I know there's definitely
I think
one.
also, yeah, like Pellegrini at Miami as well.
Pellegrini as well, yes. Who was the guy that was linked with Atlanta? Was it Jurgen Damm? I think I can't remember.
Yeah,
The
yeah, something like that.
Tigre swinger, yeah. But yeah, I think that Carlos Vela really changed the game in terms of like how we sign players. It's not just to improve the team; it's also to get more fans in the stands. I think that was Carlos Vela for MLS 3.0.
Yeah, LAFC have probably one of the strongest fan bases in MLS,
Oh yes, so they have a
and I
solid
think
fan
they owe a
base.
large part of that. They owe a large part of that to the
You
signing
can-
of Carlos Vela.
You can call them plastic all you want. They're an insane fan base. They're insanely
They're
loyal.
crazy.
I love them though.
The best away fans I've seen.
I think honestly, they're some of the most respectable fans in the league. I think honestly, just not like in terms of like if they're nice or not. In terms of like they are, just like genuinely. I can admire that fan base from afar. How about that?
That works.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Joss, your third player.
So, my third player is a current player, and that his name is Diego Valeri.
Ooh,
That's a good pick.
that is a good.
Of
That was an excellent pick.
The Portland captain, been here for 7 years now, which is surprising. I didn't think he'd been here that long. But yeah, he's been here for 7 years, and of course, he, I think, is special because he sort of redefined what it's like to be in MLS. I think he, of course, came in 2013, and he just tore it up from the get go. You know, he's got.
Totally.
If I can just pull this up real quick. He's got over 70 goals for Portland in the 7 years that he's been here. And he's absolutely fallen in love with the city as well. I've seen multiple interviews, including him, where he just talks about his love for Portland.
He's one of like the best, like I think, big loyal players in terms of like like an MLS side being like one of those big signing that's loyal to their team. I think like Valeri's a shining example of that.
Because I think that Valeri, when he came here and did so well, I think he could have. There are times when he could have gone back to Argentina. There are times when he could have probably gone to Europe. But I think his love for the city is just such a defining characteristic of what makes him part of this MLS Mount Rushmore, for me at least.
Yes, definitely.
And obviously, also he's got the show it. I think one MLS Cup, one MVP, and he's just technically gifted as well. He's creative.
One Western Conference final that they shouldn't have won, but it's okay. I'm not salty.
We're not salty, bro. It's been what, 3 years?
2 years.
2 years?
Not even 2.
Sad.
All right, Wack, would you like to give your third pick? I forgot we're not done yet.
Yeah, we're definitely not done here. So my third pick, it's between 3 people, but this one's gonna have to be Matt Beasler.
Yeah.
Here he is.
So I had to throw in the bias here. Not just because of he plays for Sporting, but he's also been big name for the U.S. men's national team for the past
Yes, sir.
how many years? At least 6 or 7.
7 at this point, maybe 8.
He's been a part of Sporting Kansas City for the last. Well, this would have been his 11th season.
Yes.
If it continues. He's from Overland Park?
Yeah.
So he's born and raised Kansas City. Like, he bleeds this club.
Yes.
And he's loyal. He's willing to take discounts to stay on this team. He absolutely loves being here.
Yeah,
And it's one of the things that I like looking at on a Mount Rushmore is you need that side like captain figure. You need the loyalty that's been that lacks in some players. But then again, there are still a lot of people that are loyal to one team, and it's not necessarily their choice that they leave. So I'm picking Beasley just because he's been willing to stay through the thick and thin for this club. He's an MLS champion. He's won the Open Cup a couple times now. I mean, he's definitely a warrior, and he belongs on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I think that sorry, Jules, you go.
Yeah, when you think of like a loyal captain in MLS, it's really hard to like pick out one player, but I think that the one that sticks with a lot of people is Matt Besler. You just see he is so passionate about this city, and he had offers in Europe after the 2014 World Cup because he was almost got a clean sheet against Ronaldo, but
yeah.
Or no, that's not almost. It was a 2-2 draw, wasn't it?
It was a 2-2.
It was 2-2.
Yeah,
but almost got the win though.
They did almost get. Yeah, he almost got his team a win against Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, and then he got offers from Europe, but he was like, "No, I want to stay in Kansas City," and it's like that's just unheard of from like an MLS player. Like you'd think that like an MLS player would want to go to Europe, but Besler, instead of seeing it as an opportunity for his career, he saw it as, hey, I love this team. This is a chance to build my loyalty with this club even further and solidify myself as a legend. And I just love him for that.
I think one thing that Jack said is that he stuck with Sporting Kansas City. But I think that during his time here, there haven't been many tough moments for Sporting Kansas City.
Just like 2019 and then like the pre-Sporting
And
days,
I think a big part of that is Matt Besler. A big part of our success has been Matt Besler.
100%.
Him and Opar together was the backbone of this team for multiple years.
Almost.
Thing is, we've consistently had a very good defense, except for like last season was an outlier. But we've had a very good defense. But the thing is, you look at all of our center back pairings over the years, each one has Matt Besler.
Right, and also Besler's had a couple of years. He's had some injury-prone years and stuff. Looking on here, it's like 2010. He only played 12 games for the club.
Is it 2014?
2016 he played 18. Like, you know, it's been he's had his ups and downs as for that, but still, there hasn't been a really bad year for him. Just when he's actually played.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had a bad year. All right, we are.
No. He's consistent, you know.
He is.
Yeah, for sure.
Very consistent. All right, we're almost at 23 minutes, and we should probably start wrapping up this conversation. So we're gonna go quick on this last round. Just give like 2 or 3 sentences as to what your pick is and why you picked it.
Well, that's gonna be fun.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I don't need very long because this name still leaves a bad taste in my mouth because of the 2014 World Cup.
Oh, I know.
However, it is it's undeniable that Chris Wondolowski deserves a place on the MLS.
Absolutely.
Mount Rushmore. I don't think I need to say much other than he's won 2 MLS Cups, stayed most of his time at San Jose, other than like a brief stint at Chicago, I believe, and all-time scorer right around the corner from it, I believe. So needs to be on there.
I think he is the all-time scorer now.
I think he is too.
Yeah, I should fact check that probably, but man, there's a lot of players that I want to pick from right now, and I know that we're definitely gonna get some slack for not picking some of these players. But I'm going to go for one that's probably not going to get mentioned, and I was going to say David Villa. Because I think...
Lovely signing.
Yes, David Villa, I think, was because Seattle and Portland, when they came into the league, they didn't really have any huge signings, nothing that you'd instantly recognize if you saw them. But New York City FC, when they came in the league, along with Orlando, like you guys said with Kaká, David Villa was their big guy. He was, I think, in my opinion, he was the first expansion team big name, the start of expansion teams wanting a big name on their roster to start off. Yeah, that's that's about it. All right, Joss.
All right. So I'm gonna go with a player that's kind of flown under the radar, I think, but that's Osvaldo Alonso.
Ooh,
Ozzy Alonso for all of them. Yeah. Of course, known mostly for his time at Seattle. But also, I think that his time at Minnesota shouldn't go underappreciated. He was a very big signing for them.
He has been solid for Minnesota this past couple of years, or since 2019.
Yeah. And obviously, at Seattle, he was Mr. Durable for a long time for them in the early 2010s. He led most of their field in terms of games played.
Yeah.
He was just reliable. He didn't score a lot, obviously. That's because he was a holding mid. But he was just durable for them, able to play a lot of games in the season. And I just think that his contribution to that Seattle team and to Minnesota make him a legend of MLS.
Yes, sir. All right, Jack, would you like to finish us off here?
I would. So lastly, my last pick for Mount Rushmore, my Mount Rushmore, there we go, got it out, would be one of the most explosive goal scorers in the MLS, That would be Joseph Martinez.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Yep.
That is
I
good.
mean, he had to be picked at this point, and the fact that he was the last pick says something about everyone that's been in MLS. But Joseph Martinez has been one of the most fun players to watch from a neutral standpoint. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Orlando, but just
Orlando.
watching
Because
him,
for Atlanta.
I'm. All right, so I'm not a big fan of Atlanta. There we go.
Yes, sir.
But watching
That's a
Joseph
dub.
Martinez, just he's so much fun on the ball, and his just goal scoring ability is par none. Like no one can top it. No one has been able to match it in the last couple of seasons. He has 30 something goals in 2018. Like I think it was 35 and 31, and he scored 27 last year. He is ridiculous, and if the season does start back up, Atlanta's gonna really miss him.
Oh yeah.
Really
Oh yeah, because
miss him.
he's out for the season. Wow.
Yeah, torn ACL.
ACL, yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
It's a testament to how good he is that they sold Miguel Almiron, and he's still scoring 20 plus.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's also like he's just such a big like character in MLS too.
He is. That is accurate.
He's like
Yeah.
He plays for the city, you know.
Absolutely like the Matt Beasler kind of like player, like playing for
Right.
the city, not for the money. And I just love those kinds of players.
Rip. There goes
Rip.
Chick.
Oh, this is awkward.
Yeah, he's back.
Yes,
Let's go.
sir.
Alrighty. Well, okay, so those are our Mount Rushmore. Should we recap real quick, or should we just go on? I think. let's
Yeah, we'll just move on. I think everybody knows that Joseph Martinez was the best pick out of all those.
I was gonna mention two players that I was very close to picking, Clint Dempsey and Zlatan, but like.
Oh, Dempsey! Oh my god, I didn't even think about him.
But yeah,
but,
I
oh
thought
my
about it. I
God.
thoud about it. Dempsey's more of like he's more of like an American.
He's just an
icon.
American
He's
legend.
an American legend.
He's
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
American legend.
He was absolutely. He played for his club no matter what. Like he put the
Yeah.
club before himself.
Fulham, Tottenham.
And-
Oh, also
Tottenham, Clint Dempsey is undisputably the best.
yes, he is.
That chip
Wow.
against Juventus,
Oh,
Oh.
my god,
the audacity.
that man! I loved watching him. I was so glad that he was Captain America for us.
Oh, Deuce was unreal.
Nobody else.
I
Sad
was
to see
also
him
I
go.
was also gonna make like my controversial one. I was gonna say Kai Kamara, but then I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But because
no,
he's one of the top 5 scorers in like league history, and he's played for so many of the teams that it's like
Casey being one of them.
he's played for
Oh.
KC, Vancouver, New England,
Columbus.
Houston. Who else?
Colorado.
Yeah,
He's playing with
Colorado.
Colorado. The man.
You just lost Colorado.
you just lose.
You just lose.
You just lose.
We're gonna mention that a lot in the future.
Yeah, Kai Kamara left a really bad taste. I mean, he did a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
for this. Not,
Totally.
but just he has a really good goal scoring ability, but his attitude, like once he leaves the club about his former clubs, is just
He was
it's a bad reputation.
He badmouthed for me his last year, and that was like during a really
Yeah.
bad time for us too. But
Yeah, it's crazy.
but yeah.
But I don't remember asking Kai Kamara.
Bro, Kai Kamara, what a guy. God, this like
My honorable mention. Oh, jeez. I could have said Zlatan because why not? But no.
but we all
Because the league was already established by the time Ibra got here, and he thought he was like bigger than the
he
league.
thought
but
he was
really
bigger. No, he was
He
not.
Didn't
was
win
not.
anything. Didn't win anything.
he
Made the
did-
playoffs once.
loser.
Scored a couple of
Sweet
goals
power.
against LAFC.
What-
Nah.
What about Preki though? The only guy to win MVP
Yes,
twice.
I was going to
Yeah.
mention Preki. Preki, my God, oh my goodness. Every time I talk about
He was getting flustered, bro.
dude, Preki is just a legend. Not just in Kansas
Listen.
City, he's a legend.
Do y'all remember Obafemi Martins?
Oh,
Oh,
Femi
Femi!
Martin.
Yes, sir. That dude was goaded. Oh man.
Obafemi Martins.
The backflips, bro, after every goal
Yes,
he
sir.
scored.
That was
Iconic.
like Dom Dwyer Jr. right there.
100%, bro.
Just call Obafemi Martins Dom Dwyer Jr.
Yes,
Did
sir.
Obafemi and Deuce play together at all?
Yes.
Yeah,
That,
they
like,
played-
That's
for, like,
unreal.
that's
one
what I
season, I
remembered
think.
them from is when they played together because they were insane.
That's cult
Didn't they win the
size.
cup?
They won.
I
They won the
think-
supporter shield with those two
Yeah.
because that was.
Obafemi.
I missed that dude.
Can we
Is
say?
he
Can I
China
s-
now?
I don't. I think
Yeah.
he is. I think he is.
Yeah, he is.
Hopefully he's safe. And with all
I
this
hope
going
so
on.
too.
God,
Shout
that
out
was
if
that was our
anyone.
next topic was just COVID-19 in general. It's like we all feel so empty right now. There's no
I
soccer.
want soccer back.
There's no
I want
soccer.
everything back.
NBA got canceled. I saw what's the there? Let's see. There's MLS, there's USL, and then there's the other one, the really old NPSL, right? I
Yeah.
feel like yeah, okay. They
I think you're right.
they just announced
NASL.
yeah, they just announced
That's
they're
it.
canceling the entire rest of their season.
Jeez.
So, yeah. I would say I don't think that Don Garber is going to look at this and think that we should cancel the entire rest of the season, which we were going to talk about a specific article. Don Garber wants to play the rest of the 34 games. I think Jacob, were you the one that said that was a horrible idea earlier?
That's an absolutely horrible idea.
I
mean, that's
think
just asking for injuries.
it's asking for a lot of things. It's like at this point you should just leave the games that you can't play and play the ones that were scheduled for this time, because to rewrite that schedule, even with like the 4 weeks training that they need to do to lead up to it, you are not going to be able to fit in every game without doing like at least 2 weeks a game, which that's just not suitable for a lot of these teams, especially teams like Minnesota, who are going to now be playing into November because of this. It's like you cannot ask that of them. It's just
Exactly.
an absolutely ridiculous idea, and I cannot believe that even got brought up by Don Garber.
Yeah, so if Garber was to like resume the season and play all 34 games, that would be at least 2 games a week.
Yeah,
You would have to do a midweek game and then one on the weekend. That would be crushing for most of the guys. Like, I'm sure players want to do 34 games, but they would be fatigued by about 20 games in. I mean, I know they're in fit shape, but like that is a lot to put on people. And even the most European clubs, they don't play 2 games a week, but like once a month.
Not for that long.
If that.
not ones without like huge squad depth.
Right.
Man City, Juventus, PSG, those types of
Yeah,
teams.
most of their
Liverpool.
B teams are better than like 75% of MLS teams.
Their C teams could probably beat like our MLS teams. Probably.
They would like wipe the floor with the Revolution. It would be like 6-0 by halftime.
Okay, let's respect the Revolution. They signed Carlos Gil. That was a
Respect
good
Gustavo
signing.
Bo,
And
maybe.
Gustavo Bo. I forgot about him. Gustavo Bo.
All right,
Respect
fine.
Carlos Gil.
Let's disrespect FC Dallas then.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm here for that.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah, it'd be
don't-
like
but-
8-0
but-
by
but-
about 30 minutes in.
Okay, FC Dallas minus Reggie Cannon. We can say that, okay?
Reggie Cannon is going to be the future.
He
Can we
is.
say just Jesse Gonzalez? Actually, like
No.
Gonzalez.
He's filled potential at this point to me.
FC Dallas, Walker Zimmerman. I miss him.
Oh, Walker's.
Where is he at now?
he's at Nashville.
He's at Nashville. I forgot that happened.
Oh, no.
I remember because he was
Yeah.
awful. He was awful against Atlanta. I
He
think
was
a big
awful for
trade.
he was
I
only
remember
good for
that.
LAFC and Dallas. I don't think he could.
Yeah.
I don't think he could do like.
I think he's on the downward slope now. I don't know what's happened in his career,
Oh,
but
totally. It's just ever since the incident in Trinidad in 2018.
we don't talk about that.
We
We
do
don't
not
talk
we
about
don't
it.
speak
the
about
cursed time.
we-
I don't know. I think Walker Zimmerman did well at LAFC.
Oh no, he totally did. But like with Nashville now, he just doesn't like after these 2 games, which of course it's totally not.
It's
fair.
2 games. Yeah.
It's two
two
games.
games.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Nashville will find their personality probably next season at the least, but like he's just not looked the same, and I think it's definitely the market of Nashville. I don't think Nashville hasn't really like picked their fan base kind of personality yet, and it's really evident because we saw with Miami and Nashville, they were kind of rushed into the league at this point. We can all kind of agree on that, but it's kind of given them not enough time to find a personality, I think, and it's really showing in some of their players, especially. But yeah, I think Zimmerman, for the U.S., Zimmerman has not quite been what we all expected from him.
I think you're right. Because I feel like Dallas, they had him and Matt Hedges at one point.
that was
and
that was
everyone
one of the
was
best
ready.
center back partners in MLS
Yeah.
history. Was
Everyone was
Zimmerman.
ready for them to take the big step up into the men's national team. And like, I think that having a defensive partnership at center back that play regularly with each other is so important. That's why Italy, I think, have one of the best defenses of all times because they had Bonucci, Barzagli, and Chiellini years.
That back
that was
line.
nasty.
Yeah.
2010 World Cup. Good
But
guy.
now I think like Aaron Long has taken what has been what we thought Walker Zimmerman was going.
Yeah, I think
Aaron Long is very
Aaron
good.
Long and Tim Parker. I think they're possibly one of the best center back pairings in MLS.
It's like they're the new Beasler and
Yeah, definitely. I'd say
except with just more stability. I mean, they're both really good in their own box. They do not make a lot of mistakes.
Aaron Long
Yeah.
is very quick. He's very quick.
Aaron Long is an athlete. He could play a lot of sports,
Yeah.
I think.
And if he would just make the leap to Europe already, he would be
Right.
He could probably make it with like I'd say like a bottom half, maybe like Italian team, maybe. Not Italian.
I don't think
German
you should
team.
go to Italy to be fair. Yeah, I'd say Germany would be the best
Germany.
bet for
Germany-
most Americans looking to make that
Germany
jump.
and England are probably the two best places for Americans at the moment. I'd say.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
yeah,
not sure you can
I
really
could
say anywhere else.
linking up with Tim Ream at Fulham, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, France has been pretty good. Tim Ream at Fulham, just
Tim
Yes,
Ream.
sir.
Aaron
go
Long,
Tim Ream.
watching Gladbach.
Yes,
Sydney
sir.
right now.
I saw-
Matthias Gittert, Aaron
because
Long.
he was so
My
close to
God.
he was so close to a move to West Ham, right?
He was. We were
Yeah.
linked with him for a long time for only $4 million as well,
Yeah,
which
and
I
the-
think
and
would
the
have
Red
been.
That's a
Bulls,
steal.
The Red Bulls are just like no, and I'm like, why would you not accept that much?
They wanted $10 million for him, and they're like, that's not worth.
It's definitely not. Well, okay, no. Well, I don't know. I think Aaron Long is definitely worth more than $4 million, but I think for the Red Bulls, you kind of just have to take that offer and go with it at this point.
Yeah.
Because like Aaron
think-
Long, he wants to leave. Like it's pretty clear he wants to go to Europe. But,
Yeah,
like, if
I
you're
think the
just
main
holding
reason
back-
they wanted to hold off to Aaron, or they wanted to hold on to Aaron Long, would be because Kamal Lawrence is leaving. Like he left.
and
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
Mario,
big hole.
Michael Mario as well. They both left to Ender on the Belgian team.
Anderlecht, yeah.
Yeah, those are huge holes, and I mean you can't risk losing 3/4 of your back line like that.
That is true. I did not think about that. Now they got, is it Kyle Duncan? I know because
Yeah.
I have him in my fantasy
He's
team.
not bad.
I have him in my fantasy team. He's been tearing it up for me.
Yeah, he's...
Yes, sir, for the 2 games.
2 games.
Bro.
Let's go.
Top 100. I was top 100 in the world
Bro.
week 2.
Yeah.
Hey,
I-
Jacob.
We get it.
I wanted to cry.
We didn't ask.
I found out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I found out.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I had.
Alright,
I had.
I'm back.
I had Joseph Martinez in my team, and then I found out like in the middle of class one day that he tore his ACL, and I was like, oh my
He
god,
lost
you
it.
cry,
He started
bro?
doing
I wanted to
bleeding.
cry because I was like, there goes.
Calculus was ever the same.
It wasn't. Nope. Okay. We're moving on.
Damn,
But
bro.
yeah, COVID's just been like all over this.
We
Like,
don't talk about it, bro.
I don't think that MLS will be one of the first to come back, to decide to come back or to just void the season.
I don't
I
know.
think that we'll follow the leads of other leagues in the world.
I think that's definitely something that we end up doing. I could see Don Garber, because Don Garber said no matter what, they're following the CDC's requirement. But of course, in America, we all know our requirements are far worse than Europe's because it's going to.
Yeah.
We do our own thing.
Without getting into politics on a soccer podcast,
That's a fact. We move on.
we suck
Drop
really
it.
with this. But anyways, yeah, COVID's just definitely, it's just like held off everything. And that's kind of just what
Yeah,
sucks about
it's
this.
Yeah, it's painful.
Because right now we should be like talking about one of the games that happened just like tonight.
We should be
but
talking about Sporting KC go for the supporter shield right now.
We should be talking
Sporting
about,
KC's victory over Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I was about to say because we could talk about Kuzain.
Let's talk about how Kuzain being goated at FIFA.
Kuzain played Juan Kuzain, Sporting Academy player, or I guess now official Sporting player, played
He
Yes,
is
sir.
yeah.
Salt Lake's keeper. Is it David Ochoa?
David Ochoa.
Yes, he played them in a FIFA match and he won because Juan Kuzain's the
Yeah.
goat.
Like, what was it, like 6-0?
Yeah, Juan Kuzain is the Malaysian Messi. And we all praise
He's
him.
so
Facts.
good at FIFA. Everyone looks up to him on
He's
this
so
team. That's
good.
for sure.
I know. It doesn't Ty like know him.
Has a
Yeah,
mod in his Twitch chat.
Yeah.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, he is.
Ty will probably be on future episodes. You all know Ty J Main, I'm pretty sure.
Up
we
to
need
Ty J.
Alexander in here this
We
second.
need Alex in this podcast. We're gonna go.
Alex
One-
McCall's a riot.
Dude, we need to get Alex on. We need
All
to
the bitches on his Tinder would be on this podcast listening the next day. I know him.
we need we're looking
His
at
impact.
Alex. I want to get Felipe Hernandez on here. That'd be awesome.
We need to get Busio.
Oh, Busio, our king.
We're not going to talk about what I said on Wise recording the other day. Ross knows exactly what I said.
I need you gone, bro.
I'm not repeating it either.
Good.
You want me to, bro? Rules could just cut it out.
Yeah. But
I'm not going to be the one editing it, so I don't really care if you say it or not.
only cut out.
Jacob admires Busio, bro. Jacob calls me the other day and he goes, "Bro, check out Busio's Instagram story. Dude's ripped."
Dude, what?
Dude.
Are you admiring a 17-year-old, bro? That is jail time.
Dude,
let me correct you.
All I'm saying, did you see him crawling his own dogs, dude?
Dude, no. What kind of dogs does he have?
Let me correct you. An 18-year-old who is, according to our manager, worth $10 million.
Oh, wait, he's 18 now?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, I thought he was still 17.
We're looking this up. It's important.
I think he's still 17.
I think
he is too.
he is still 17. Yeah.
When's his
Jacob,
birthday?
you're going to jail.
Jacob is going to jail.
Dog.
His birthday is May 28th. We'll release a podcast on that day.
With him.
Happy birthday, Busio.
Oh,
Busio
that's
was on
exactly,
the
Happy
birthday
birthday to
podcast.
him, bro.
that's exactly 2 months from when we're recording this.
Do you think he
Oh
heard
my-
you, Jack, when he said happy
No.
birthday?
I hope so, bro. We're connected spiritually. Telepathically, bro.
You just said in your mind, he's like,
Damn.
God.
he's somewhere out there, just like he just got chills.
Imagine if we could get Beasler on here, the captain.
Oh my God.
The leader, the
he
legend.
he would not fit this podcast.
Imagine him laughing at one of our jokes. We would be like invincible for like
That's
a week and a half.
The main goal though is to get Don Garber on here. Once that happens,
We all
It's
just
a
like
wrap.
scream at him the entire match or the entire podcast.
we're like, hey, can you do something about salary caps?
Can you
Can you do
can you
better,
disband
dog?
can you disband Salt Lake already, please?
Bro, please.
Just like get rid of him.
Put anything else there, bro.
So how about that Belarusian Premier League?
No, we haven't. I haven't watched it.
That's the only league that's going on right now. It's the Belarusian.
Up the Minsk FC.
Minsk FC. Let's see, there's Dynamo Minsk. Oh, Bait. I remember Bait. There's a
Is Bate Borisov? That's Bate Borisov, isn't
yeah,
it?
Bait Borisov. They played
Hey.
Chelsea. No, Chelsea. I can't remember who they played. They played in one of the European.
Yeah,
leagues.
it was Chelsea.
Up the
I
Then
think,
they nearly beat him at Stamford Bridge.
up Torpedo Belazadino. I just butchered that. Okay,
Why was
Bro,
the
we
Bulgarian
gotta cut
league
that.
still playing?
we're about to get the Belarusians on our ass.
The Belarusian prime minister said, go to
You were
work.
canceled.
No, he said, stay healthy, go to work, and drink a lot of vodka.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, Bait.
Oh my.
What the heck happened to Bait? Oh, they've only played 2 games, but they're 14th.
No.
Yeah. Down with bait. I'm
Hey,
done with them.
my boys Torpedo are 2-0. Up Torpedo.
Bro, are you really glory hunting right now?
Unbelievable.
Dude,
I can't believe that.
I need something. I need
I need
something.
the Russian Premier League back. I miss my Spartak Moscow.
Spartak.
Bro, if you're not supporting Zenit, you're crazy.
No.
Dude,
man.
Zenit are like the most racist mother.
They
No,
really
sir.
are. I hate them.
And
You're done.
How many teams are in Moscow? There's Lokomotiv, CSK.
There's like 3, I think.
And Spartak.
Yeah.
Lokomotiv, Spartaks, yeah.
Bro, imagine being named after a train.
Dude, Locomotive is sick.
They actually are. Didn't they win? They won the league. Didn't they?
Yeah, they have like a pair of brothers that are just unbelievable.
That yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah,
I
but they're
forgot.
goated.
Benedict
I'm not gonna try to
Havertz.
pronounce it.
They got Corluka.
They have Jamaria, legend.
Oh, they
Do they
have
actually?
Mario. Yeah,
They actually have
yeah.
Jamaria.
West Ham legend.
Yes,
Goated.
sir.
Oh, they have Kachawiak. Jefferson
They
Farfan.
do. because they were in the Champions League this season.
Yeah, and Adair, cult legend. We were talking about that earlier. Was MLS cult legends?
Yeah, that's a good topic for another episode, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll save that for next time, honestly, because like that could probably take up a whole episode.
We're kind of waffling at this point. I'd say we should end it.
We need to know one more topic though. We gotta like have at least 3.
One more topic.
All right.
Oh, did you guys see
Next place that should get an MLS team.
Oh yeah, that was.
That was it.
Let's just do it really quickly and just like run through why, I guess.
So should we say like place, manager, and main DP?
Let's just do place and DP because I can't name a manager off the top of my head right now.
Okay.
All right. Do we want to start at the bottom now and go up?
No, we'll start at the top. Go ahead, Jacob.
This dub. Okay, so I'm gonna go with San Antonio. They already have a USL team that I visited. Went to go watch last year. They actually have a few, or they did have a few. Actually, they went on and moved on with their careers, but they had a few U.S. national like youth team members on their team. And I feel like if they could sign any one person, I mean, Daniel Sturridge is a pretty obvious choice at this point, so I'd go with Sturridge.
Honestly, I think I could see that happening. That sounds like reasonable for some reason.
And it's Evan Bryant was the one that I was really impressed by. He plays in our youth national team system.
Yeah. Okay. So is it down to me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Oof. I'm like teetering between a couple of picks, but I know what Jack's gonna say, so I'm not gonna steal his thunder.
Thank you.
I might
do it.
I don't know. I might be stealing Joss's thunder. I don't know. I think I remember what Joss said he was gonna pick, but I'm gonna say Las Vegas. I think that Las Vegas. If you have seen Las Vegas's USL team, they're insane. Like actual insanity.
Yeah.
Like they're just such like a crazy team to watch, and it's just like, oh my goodness, I think they're just so much fun to watch. But
what is the name of their USL team?
I think it's just
The Lights.
The Lights.
The Lights, yeah.
It's
terrible.
They would. I don't know. They would be. I'd welcome that kind of personality.
They have like a llama that they dress out for every game.
Oh my god, bro!
Crazy.
No,
they had Freddie Adu for a little bit.
Oh, they still. I think they still do.
Or they might still have him. Yeah.
I think they still have him. Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. Did Freddie Adu? I keep forgetting he's 30. Jesus.
I can't believe he's only 30.
He's better than Messi, though.
He is better than
Bro,
Messi.
he's been around the world.
He's been a free agent for a couple of years. But
That's sad.
He was indeed last with the Las Vegas Lights. But yeah, the Lights, they are, I don't know, they're such a personality that I think you'd need to find like a player that fits their personality types. Like a player that parties a lot and probably doesn't really care. And for some reason,
Mario Balotelli.
I was gonna say the only player that's coming to mind is Mario Balotelli. I think that Mario Balotelli in Las Vegas for an MLS team.
Oh, bro, that's a match made in heaven.
That'd be nasty. He would have like 35 goals, no doubt.
No doubt, bro.
He would just be partying the whole time,
and like a goal celebration where he gambles or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Casino table that he set up beforehand.
I would love to see Las Vegas get an MLS team. I just think it would be amazing, to be honest. All right. And now, Joss, your pick?
I would like, my dream is to have Hawaii get an MLS team.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
That's a good pick, and I like it.
We're bringing it to Honolulu.
Imagine traveling for 2 away games in a row from Hawaii to New York.
Yes,
Oh my
sir.
god.
Crossing 4 time zones.
Only
Like in a
MLS.
perfect world, Hawaii gets it. That's just in my opinion.
I think definitely that would be.
What about your realistic pick, bro?
Realistically, I'd want to put it somewhere like Boise, I think.
Boise?
I think Boise,
Interesting.
Idaho. Yeah.
I was gonna say I had Omaha in mind, or maybe Phoenix for you.
I think
thought-
Boise, like there's just a lack of teams that exist in the
northern
in like that sort of area, you know, like
yeah
Yeah.
Portland,
There's
but
no
then you just have
Dakotas.
this like blank space, you know.
yeah, it's like between Portland and Chicago.
Yeah,
Seattle,
and I mean like
Chicago.
they could support RSL or Denver maybe.
I guess
mean,
the closest would be Colorado and Sporting and St. Louis.
Yeah, I think that that Boise would be able, because there's some sport fanatics up there. Like Boise State college football team gets a lot of fans every week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that there's a market potentially there, and I think that for a DP, you sign. I want to go more like a Giovinco. Sign Domenico Berardi from Sassuolo.
Domenico Berardi.
Yeah,
That
a
is.
couple years ago,
Dude is nasty.
world beater, right? A couple years ago, it was a world beater.
Oh,
Kind of dropped.
I remember when he was insane a couple years ago.
Yeah, and I think that he'd just be the ideal signing, especially for MLS.
Mm-hmm. How old is he?
26.
Yeah, that would be a good signing, actually.
Yeah, that's why I liken him to
And he's
Giovinco.
he's kind of had a bad couple of years. I could see
Come
that.
here, revive his career, or make like a name out of himself here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
Because I feel like he'll end up here at one point.
It's a good pick, actually. All right, and now we are at Jack.
So, as Julian avoided, I'm gonna down Tampa.
Yep.
So I would say they are realistically trying to become an MLS team with the Rowdies there in St. Petersburg, and it's tough because there's not a lot of room in St. Pete, so they'd have to move across the bay, and that's probably for the best because it is not easy to get to St. Petersburg, like, at all. It's a one bridge.
Oh yeah, no,
And
I've been there. It's not.
It's not easy, and
What if
I
it's
mean
like
the
a stadium in
stadium.
the water?
Dude, the stadium is beautiful there. It's like on the coast.
I've
It's like
actually seen it. It's really
it's
nice.
beautiful. Lang is just. I love it. It's the perfect place. The team's fun. It's really exciting in USL. They play under former Rowdies player Neil Collins. He came from he actually used to play for not West Ham, but
Oh,
another
wait,
English team.
Neil Collins. I'm gonna look that up for you, actually. So
There's a few English teams. He's English. He went around the block there before making his way to the Rowdies.
he's Scottish.
And then is he actually?
Yeah.
That name sounds very English. Anyways, they're right there together. So I have a couple of names in mind.
He played for
One of them,
Sunderland, Sheffield, and Leeds. Sorry.
Leeds. Disgusting. So I have a couple names, as I was saying. So one, Ed Dzeko.
Oh.
That
That's a
is
good pick.
the former Man City
You
absolute
know,
clinical
I would love
striker.
that. I would love
He
that.
needs one contract from. I mean, he's out of a contract this year.
He's honestly,
unless Rome will pick it back.
He's pretty close to leaving Roma, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and they wanted just around 10 million for him before the season started, and that would be a really smart free signing for the Rowdies if they were to make the jump. But the pick I wanted to say would be Dries Mertens. So they play a 4-3-3, and not necessarily the crucial part of that team missing would be the winger, but Dries Mertens would make that team from a probably going to be finishing around the bottom to finishing mid-table because Mertens has picked up his game to another level since reaching 30.
Yeah. He's one of those special
Dries
players like
Mertens-
Ronaldo or Ibra.
Dries Mertens in MLS would be like Sebastian Giovinco to like another level. It would
Right,
be
he's
like-
short, he's fast, he's exciting to watch.
Can play anywhere across that front three as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Especially
and
with
that's
Belgium.
true. He's been under insulated now for a little while, and he's really adapted to that system very well, and he's excelled his game, I think. And unless he agrees to a new deal there with Napoli, I think that would be one of the perfect free signings to pick up and make the face of a franchise.
100%. All right, so we got. I'm sorry, Jacob. I forgot what yours was. What did you
San
say?
Antonio.
Oh, San Antonio
San
and
Antonio.
Daniel Sturridge.
San Antonio, Daniel Sturridge. I said Las Vegas, Mario Balotelli. Josh
I
said
said Boise and
Boise.
Domenico Berardi.
Domenico Berardi, and then we've got Jack, Tampa Bay, and Edin Dzeko.
Or
think-
Mertens, whichever one.
I think shout out to Phoenix. Phoenix does not
Shout
get
out.
recognition.
Phoenix, I love that team. They
Yeah.
deserve to be in MLS.
I was very close to picking Phoenix, but I thought Joss was gonna pick Phoenix, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boise's not a bad pick. Like,
Oh no, 100%. I think that's a good pick.
yeah, Boise, it would definitely sell out games a lot.
Mhm.
They would have no issue drawing an attendance. But I do want to make one honorable mention for a DP coming in. That would be Mario Götze.
Oh,
Oh,
I would love
he's
Götze.
he's out of the picture again with Dortmund, and
Yeah.
he needs a fresh start. And I think MLS would be a perfect spot.
Now that Gio Reyna's tearing it up for him,
Facts.
Sir.
Gio
American legend.
Reyna, he will be one of the best
He already
players
is
this
one.
country
I
has
don't
ever
care.
seen.
I
Yes,
don't
He's
care,
better
bro.
than
He's the
Donovan.
best. He's the best in the world.
Future cap.
he is insane.
That goal in the German Cup,
Oh, against Bremen.
that was nasty.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
He was on the pitch for what, like 30 seconds. He just whips
Yeah.
that thing.
He
That
is-
was beautiful.
He is definitely the son of Claudio Reyna. That is
Oh,
for sure.
facts.
All right, well, I think that's about all the time that we have for today. So, thank you all for tuning in. If you guys did enjoy this, please make sure to come back and watch other episodes in the future. We will definitely be doing this again. Yeah, we will probably have different people on next time. Probably the same people, but
God,
other
I hope
people.
Doug.
Oh, Doug said he wants to do it next time, so we'll probably
Let's
have
go.
our boy Doug on here. But yeah, look forward to more of this in the future. That is all from us, and we will see you guys next time. Yeah, bye.
Good night.
Peace.
There you go.